The original call that was called in to Sholo PD for fire and medical was of a report of an individual having a heart attack. My name is Brian King. I've been in law enforcement just under 4 years, all with Navajo County. I grew up in a law enforcement family. My grandfather was chief of police back in Michigan. He was actually shot by a bank robber in the line of duty. Growing up, my dad worked for DPS in various places in the state, so with my family, it's just kind of it's just what we know. So I went to Mountain View High School, northwest side of Tucson, graduated in 2009, and I was a broke college kid, working on my degree. So when my dad retired, he wanted to move out of Tucson and move to Williams, and then I lived over there for about 4 years. I got the opportunity to go through the Pima Community College Law Enforcement Academy, which is the academy I went to for. I did that down Tucson, and then I applied up here with the Sheriff's Office. So my favorite part about law enforcement, I like to help people, and even if I can make a difference in one person's life or day, to me that's a win. And then I like going out and getting bad guys off the street, making it safe for everybody. So I don't know, it's a way to make the community better instead of have to deal with people breaking the law or doing whatever. So I get a nice area to work in, and I'm not stuck to just one specific area. I can move around Sholo, Pine Top, Snowflake, Heber Overguard. So I get kind of freedom to roam a little bit, and it's a nice area. There's a lot of nice people up here. So it's a call for illegal dumping. It's a Dollar Dress and Lakeside, and basically some people showed up and they left some clothes or something. We'll figure out what it is when we get there, out front, and they do have it posted that they only want donations dropped off during business hours when somebody's there to take it. 1625 on scene. Down here. Sure.
You see the mess, right?
Is it all this stuff down there?
And that's just since Saturday night.
Okay. He or she can go through the cameras, and if we can get a plate or even a picture of a vehicle, we may be able to do something. But, game cameras, they're cheap, they're easy, they're movable. You can hide them. So I'm just adding some notes to the call. That way, if another deputy handles the call or if people have questions, they can pull up this call and they can see what I did, what I found out, without having to call me directly, because I may not always be available or I may be off duty or whatever. So by adding notes, it kind of documents what I did. It also gives people other deputies the ability to know what was done or what needs to be done in if a future incident occurs. Some days are really slow and other days you're constantly going call to call to call, so we'll just kind of see where today takes us. A household burglar alarm was going off. So it's one of the doors alarms triggered, saying that it's somebody opened the door. They attempted the homeowner, but they weren't able to get him on the phone to confirm. So while we were en route to the alarm call, dispatch advised the alarm company called back saying they made contact with the homeowner and homeowner gave the correct passcode information. So at that point, there's no need for us to respond. I mean, I've had calls where people reported finding evidence of Bigfoot all the way, up to being involved with stuff where people shot at each other. So it's crazy because you can't really predict what is going to come, what the next call is going to have. And like I said, some days it's you spend your 10 hours, you drive around, you stop some cars, and the most exciting thing that happens is you catch somebody at a high rate of speed or something like that. And then other days it's just back to back, busy, and you don't even you get home from work and you're like, I didn't even eat lunch today. Calls are starting to pick up a little bit compared to where they were last month. Just the usual fluctuation in summer versus winter calls. We've had a handful of calls tonight, some animal problem calls with some dogs chasing people, some 911 hang-up calls, and stuff like that.
Go ahead.
Arizona personalized, George Ocean Tom. We're going to be Deuce Clubs and Cooley with a red Ford F-150. Evening.
Hello.
I'm Deputy King. I'm with the Navajo County Sheriff's Office. Do you have your license, registration, proof, insurance? Reason I'm pulling you over tonight is you don't have any headlights on.
Oh. I turned them off while I was in drive-thru.
It happens. So I'm just going to give her a warning. Basically, I pulled her over. She didn't have any headlights on. She said that when she went through one of the drive-thrus, she turned him down to just the parking lights. There's those back. And then this is just a written warning, okay? It's just for document that I pulled you over, talked to you about driving without your headlights. You were able to get them turned back on. So if I can get you signed down here at this X saying I told you who I was and why I pulled you over tonight. And then you are going to receive a copy of it. It's just for your records. You don't need to do anything with it after this point, okay? There's your copy. Drive safe, okay?
Thank you.
Yet another thing we can do from our car computers, check our email so we can see what's happened in the county and or anything pertaining to us. So again, keeps us out of the office and keeps us out on the street where people can see us. So 2 months ago, he was sitting right there and he stopped a car and started talking to the drivers, and their stories didn't match, didn't make a whole lot of sense. Basically, they said they were going, I forget where they were going. They were going quite a distance. They were going from California to like Texas or somewhere. And, you know, one of the, you know, they had like one duffel bag for the two of them, and, you know, they were friends. They weren't even like family. So that's weird, because I mean, you know, if you take a trip with your buddy, you're probably not gonna just throw both of your stuff in one duffel bag. You know, I mean, I'm married, and some trips my wife and I don't even do that. So, you know, and basically he started talking to them, and they were super nervous. They granted permission for a consent search of their vehicle and hid some marijuana inside their trunk liner, and about 6.5 pounds of marijuana. So today is my second to last day with the Sheriff's Office. My family and I will be relocating down to the Phoenix area. I'll be going to work for a police department down there. So we'll be doing that over the weekend and getting started next week. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for the last 4 years, and in the last 4 years I've gotten an opportunity to work with some really good deputies, and you know, I want to say thank you to every single one of them for being good co-workers, good colleagues, good friends, and I want to tell them, you know, keep doing good work, be safe, you know, make sure that they get to go home to their families every night. Just because of the unique challenges that they face as law enforcement officers in a rural area. So, you know, I want them to stay safe and keep doing good work. It's been a wonderful experience, and I've gotten a lot of great opportunities, especially starting out with a smaller agency. That some bigger agencies you just don't get the opportunities to do until later on in your career. Sheriff Klaus is the second sheriff that I've worked under. I started under Sheriff Clark, and you know, it's been one great experience. And if I could restart my career tomorrow, I don't think I would change anything how I started out. You know, so. In addition to working with the Sheriff's Office, I've also worked quite a bit with the Show Police Department, and it's, you know, they're a great resource, they're a great ally, and you know, there's been several occasions where, you know, I've been the only deputy available to go to a call where I need a backup officer, and you know, the Show Police Department, they've backed me up, and you know, times they've gone down to the Summer Pines neighborhood on 60, they've gone out to Silver Lake Estates, or even, you know, rare, but they've even gone all the way up to White Mountain Lakes to help us out. And it's, it's great because they help us and we help them. And there's times that, you know, if they're real busy on calls, we'll even come into the city and we'll help them handle some of their calls. And vice versa. There's times where we've been tied up and they've covered our calls, you know, near the city limits. So it's wonderful to have somebody that, you know, an agency that's so willing to help. And, you know, I mean, whether it's anything from sending a second officer, letting us use their canine if we need to search a vehicle or whatever. (287) Arizona. We're going to be Cub Lake 260 with a gray Dodge SUV. Gotcha. Do you know the number for your mom? So I'm just going to give you a warning. If I wanted to, I could be really strict, but, you know, I get it. I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. He didn't have a valid license. He had his learner's permit or his... so technically he doesn't have a license. He's not allowed to be driving unless there's an adult in the vehicle, which there wasn't. However, with the story that they're giving, that their mother's in the hospital across the street and they're unable to get in to see her with the, you know, with the restrictions, you know, they appeared to be distraught and upset. So, you know, their story, to me, it felt believable. So, you know, one of the nice things is I have discretion on, you know, what kind of action I'm going to take. And, you know, I felt in that case a verbal warning was sufficient for the no headlights and the license issue. And, you know, the bigger picture, I felt like I could actually help them there instead of taking, you know, writing them a ticket, writing them a warning, you know, and help them get in touch with their mother who's in the hospital. So, you know, we'll close it out as just even though it started as a traffic stop, it'll become a citizen's assist, and yeah, we'll move on to the next one. $16.25. I'll be out 1901. Coming up. It's kind of like street feed.
Live right now, buddy. The whole nation's watching. Hey, don't be doing that.
So what you got?
Just basically got a guy that's driving way over the person's speed. We just had an old person's car accident right down the road there.
So, I mean, there's been some changes with the COVID-19 pandemic coming out. You know, usually on a Friday, Saturday night, there's more activity. You know, the bars are open, movie theaters, restaurants, all that. However, you know, a lot of that's closed down or they have limited services. So, you know, we've seen a decrease in the amount of people out later at night. So, you know, since then, it's kind of harder, because generally when I'm on shift, what I try to do is, you know, if there's not calls, generally I try to find something else, you know, to do to keep myself busy during shift. So I'll go out and I'll look for impaired drivers. I'll go out and I'll look for, you know, wanted individuals. So we got a disorderly conduct in progress call up in Lakeside. Basically, a gentleman is saying that there's 4 people outside of his house banging on it and banging on the side of his house and yelling threats. 1625. I'm gonna step it up.
1901, I'm elevating my response.
Go ahead, sir.
Could you respond to 181 and just secure the scene until 1902 gets there? Set back response time.
Copy.
Copy. 25 back, do you have an ETA?
Drive time from 349 on 260.
Wait.
So basically, this is a fire assist call. We're being dispatched to secure the scene. Another deputy is going to come and handle the report and the investigation for it. The original call that was called in to Sholo PD for fire and medical was of a report of an individual having a heart attack, and unfortunately it appears that individual is passed on. So for the time being, we're going to secure the scene, and then Deputy Trustee is going to come and handle the investigation.
At the end started everything else. And nothing other than she just stayed asystole the entire time. So we ended up patching and getting in called around scene.
Okay. Talking to the husband, they came up here. They're from Chandler. They came up here basically kind of like a getaway. They were approximately hour and a half, 2 hours now. They were watching some kind of sports game. And she went in, laid down to bed. About an hour and a half later, the husband went in and said she wasn't breathing. Upon arrival to the medical call, it was determined that there was a 62-year-old person that was deceased.
Set right there. I know I forgot to call back in and tell him to come over and grab it. But
So there's that, and it's actually different than the one that's listed.
ID cards. I'm taking everything, damn it.
I still want his ball cap from him, but he won't give it to me.
ID cards, Sholo key card.
Are you going back to Sholo?
Negative, sir.
I'll get it back. I'll give it to Wiley to get turned in. Unless you want to drop it off.
Caitlin Fawcett's gonna give me a ride home. I just see
okay.
if she can just drop it
You
off.
can do that too.
Just have her stick it in all these.
Never had a ballistic helmet. Body worn camera. We do a vehicle exchange. Normally it's in Holbrook. This is our equipment list that we use for the deputies to issue and turn in. And then of course on the back is our vehicle checklist for making sure the vehicle's got everything appropriate for it.
This one is
This is Sergeant.
Yes, I recognize. Yeah. Here for the fire
it's on the camera bag.
Right. Did you have current Narcan?
So, here's my camera. Okay. Do you still want the box?
this within 2 years?
I got it 4 years ago.
P card. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
You might not want to get the handshake on there. Our social distancing.
Better 1625. 10-7 for the last time. Cool.